Plaintiff Wandra Harris says she and the defendant had an affair, and Wandra gave birth to the defendant's child in 1998. Wandra claims the defendant has done nothing to help with their son, and she's suing him today for child support. Defendant Clarence Bolton says being a non-custodial parent to his child was difficult, but he insists he was in his son's life, and recently he gave his son a job.
Start with you.
I met Clarence in 1994. We owned businesses right next to each other.
What type of business?
I had a restaurant and he had a pager place.
Okay.
We started an affair, and I became pregnant in 1998. And I had a baby since then. Clarence has not did anything to help to raise him other than when I go to court to sue him or something for child support.
Sir, you tell me about the relationship.
Yes, I have made sporadic but consistent payments, if that makes sense to you.
That's a contradiction of terms, I
I mean,
So, no,
I thought
it
about
doesn't
that
make
before
sense.
I said that.
believe. And if you got any sense, it wouldn't make sense to you.
Well,
Go ahead.
when I say sporadic, I mean they weren't on time monthly like they should have been. But whenever I was behind and she summoned me to come to court, I would, always come with money.
She had to drag you to court for you to pay.
Not only then, I would pay other times as well.
I'm going by what you said. When she drags me into court, I always pay something. That suggested that's the only time you pay. It's when she has to bring you to court for non-payment. Then you say, well, let me go with some money in my pocket. This judge might lock me up. And then when it's time to go back and you know they're going to lock you up, you look at what do you owe and you bring half. And you say, well, Judge, I got half right on me. Can I just hand that to her now and I give her the rest in 30 days? Okay, you better. Look at you looking at me like that. How does he know that?
I'm sure you're familiar with it,
Exactly.
and some of that is true.
Exactly.
I know it's true.
It is true.
Yes, sir. But I never got locked up. So I always came.
Because you came with cash in your pocket. I know.
I always came with money.
You something
Tough
else,
situation,
sir.
y'all.
How old is the child? Let's talk about
My
the
son
child.
is 19 years old now.
What is he doing for himself?
He had got into a game when he was 15 years old.
Was he part of his life?
No, he had not been a part of his life. I reached out to him. He would not help me. I had to let my son live with my grandparents for a year to get him away from that from that life. He wanted to come home. He came back home at 16. They beat him in the game. They had to beat him out of the game. But he went and he got his punishment to get out of the game. He got his grades back on track. He graduated with honors and he got a full scholarship.
Thank God for you. Thank God. And you defeated the odds. Most adolescents without a father in their lives, majority of them end up with a criminal record. That's a fact.
did not.
Y'all
He's
look it
never
up.
been in
Y'all
jail.
Google all that. And the statistics on boys with no fathers in their lives, the majority have a criminal record at some point in their lives. So that shows you how critical it is for fathers to be involved in the lives of their sons, particularly, but certainly their daughters as well. Fathers need to understand that. So tell me about the child support and being in the child's life.
I love my son, Your Honor. I always have. I've been on child support since he was 6 months, roughly, of age. It's tough being a non-custodial parent. I've had to love him from a distance, and the bond gets better as they get older. They're children raised by their moms, in my opinion, are mother's kids, mama's boys.
Yes, if there's no dad.
Amen.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. But I mean, I'm somewhere else, and I'm loving him from a distance, basically. I'm having to, I call him, in order to make contact with him.
You all in different states?
Through her.
You all live in different states?
No, sir.
No, he worked 10 minutes,
different
5 minutes
cities.
from him. and he still would not see him. His job is right up this road from my house on the same street. And he still would not spend time with him at all.
I see my son. I've seen my
How
son.
often, sir? How often in a typical month or year?
He's 19 now. Maybe every couple of months.
When he was an adolescent, you would see him every couple of months?
Ballpark, we do family gatherings. She tell me he had a ball game. I try to show up. I've seen football games.
4 things that he's been in this world.
He's been to
things.
4 things.
I've been to his high school graduation, his middle school graduation. We've spent July the 4th together. He's met my parents before they were deceased.
That's it. Stop
Different
there.
situation.
That is it. That is it.
Both parents. I mean, I could
That
go
is
on.
it. Nope.
I could go on. He's worked for me, Your Honor.
He gave him
more
a job,
recently.
paid him $60 a week, and then left his job and had another
Not
one
true.
of his employees to tell him that he's cutting his pay to $40.
50 a day.
A week.
50
say
a day.
Rather, a day.
Doing
Then he said he wasn't doing anything. He tried to
skilled
use
labor.
that as a reason for not paying his child support. He said he
He
worked
made
him.
his son work off his child support?
Yes, and tell me
No,
that he don't
that's absolutely
that
not
he
true.
gives him, he pays him to work.
I paid him daily.
Just have him work it off.
Yes,
Don't believe
yes.
it, Your Honor.
Not for extra money in his pocket like most young people.
That's what I
if
thought.
you
That's
work
why I
as a
told him he
teenager,
still had to
it's
pay.
extra money in your pocket. He had to work his
He
off.
had to work for it, and he
I
gave him
promise,
$60
I bet you
a
didn't
day
tell the
first.
court that.
I said that's not true.
Tell me about
In addition
child
to
support.
paying through the support system, human resources at Georgia, I mean, this is just the last year of him being in high school when he was really able and wanting to work, when he had put the gangs and so forth behind me. When the day he got out of the gang, he came up to my office, which is not far from
And
her
they
house.
beat him down.
I'll finish. And I'm right outside. I hear, turmoil going on the inside. I stick my head in. 2 of those gang members have jumped on him. I come around the corner and we get him off of him.
All right, let's talk about the child support again. Are you up to date? What was the deal on him working for you? Let's talk about that, sir. The money.
Okay. Well, he basically.
Are
as
you
she
up to
said-
date? Go with the first one.
No.
Why?
I have always been behind.
Why? That's 19 years, sir.
Yes,
Why?
sir. Well, because I supported 2 other daughters through 14
Did
or
you
so
tell
of
the
those
judge
years.
that? Did you tell the judge that when they assigned the child support amount?
They didn't ask. I was married at the time, and
They didn't
I have.
ask.
He
You're
only had to
supposed
pay
to tell them,
$165.
sir.
$165
We're
a
talking
month.
about a 20-year-old
That's
order.
all.
Now it's 300 and something. The
No, it's
child
not.
is 19
It's
now.
not. It's still
Support.
$165. They cut it off. He went downtown and had to pay them $40 a month. Had them to have him to pay $40 a month now on his arrears.
Less than 500 a year.
Yes.
Once the order ended.
Yes.
Let's go back to why you haven't paid fully, even what they ordered in 19 years. Why haven't you been paying?
I had been
No.
When's the last time you paid?
40.
right before
Right after you graduated.
before she filed suit. She
How much
closed
you
the
pay?
case
How
basically.
much you pay?
$50 a month is what they were asking.
What they were asking, how much do you make a year? Do you make over 50 grand a year?
Right about 50.
And it is $40 that he paid. It's right here on my evidence.
Yeah, let me see it. Aside
That's
from
the monthly amount that they were asking for. I don't know.
after
what
he
you
went
thought it might have been a year.
No, she's saying
Yes.
the payment was 40. I'm just saying that's the monthly amount. It may have
Yeah,
been $50.
$40
the
a
last
month.
payment. The last payment, maybe.
It's $40. It's on my card. It's still
And
there.
you
'cause
owe
it's not a,
you owe $6,200. And your defense is that you can't afford it? Is that what you're saying? That's your only defense to this arrearage?
Once the active child support ended, they sent me to just pay the
Why
arrearage
haven't
off.
you paid? Is it only because you don't have any money?
No, I pay his cell phone bill monthly.
Is that it? Because I pay a
Other-
cell phone bill. I shouldn't have to pay child support. What other the reason?
Other than him working for me, I feel I support
Okay.
him that way. He's
By him
not
working it off.
No, he's not skilled labor. I give him the job. I gave him the job just to allow him to support himself, so he'd have money to put in his truck, and, for gas, money to take his girlfriend out, etc. I didn't need him and to work. I didn't need him to work. I did that because he's my son and I love him, and I still.
Well, show him a sign that you love him. Show him a
He don't
sign.
see it.
I'm
the
thinking
best
that's what I'm doing.
is the $6,000.
Out of 45.
And don't make him work it off. And don't make him work it off.
He wants to come back. You tell me if
I tell
I'm
you,
mistreating him.
$5,000 is what you got to pay. I tell you, have a good day.
I'm sorry that we had to come to court for you to pay your child support. You should have been paid, and you should have paid consistently, and you know that you wasn't. It was only $165.
I feel like I have been paying, and I'm just behind. I've paid 80% of the total support. Was willing to pay the rest.